Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. The aim of this video is to talk about a bit of code that I wrote to inspire making tunes. So I wanted to say I'm a beginner to coding. So if you're really good at Python, maybe you could drop me a comment and tell me this is what you could have done better there. But what I wanted to do was go through some of my code for this inspiration generator because I'd love to get feedback from people. And then what I hoped I would do, using the prompt, I'll write some tunes off of that. Let's get into it. This one I thought was really exciting. I got the list of all the different oblique strategies from Brian Eno, and it just returns a random choice. I've put in time signatures that I'm interested in working in, so mainly 4/4, and you can see the list there. But what's cool is instead of just picking a random time signature, the choices are a little bit weighted. So there's an 80% chance that it's going to pick 4/4. Each of these weights maps to these different time signatures. This next one is about generating the key signature. I've only included the keys that I'm interested in writing in, so you can see them here, and they're just ordered by the weight that I want them to come up. I have two selections here. So the first is some microtonal scales, some of the main Ableton scales that I'd be interested in using, and they're not weighted at all. That's just a random choice. That's just building up core options, as it were. But then this is the actual code that chooses stuff. Here are some of the results that came out, and you can see first it gives me a title, Room 2089, and I thought, what a cool title already. Or I could call it Harbour Static. It's going to be in the arrangement view. Must use plugins are these ones. I don't even know what that plugin is, so that's really exciting. So I've got to go in and work that out. The key's going to be G Dorian in 4/4, and the pads are going to be from samples. Synthesize the bass with subtractive synthesis. First element I'm going to make is pads. These are my aesthetics, so the track density is going to be quite compact. It's not going to be a very gappy tune, but it is going to be a deep introspective thing about faith and ideas around that. So it's going to be a bit of a deeper tune. And then this is the artwork that Unsplash randomly selected. So if I want, I've got the artist who took it, and I can link to their profile when I do the artwork. The artist has put this up and said, yeah, you can use this for free as long as you credit me. I can just have that as my inspiration for the tune. So this is a second example. Mechanical Surface Ghost I thought was already perfect. I thought that was all cool. 168 for the tempo. Plugin must use the Sentry channel strip and dual delay. I don't think I've ever used either of those, so that would be exciting. This time you can see this tune is going to prioritize gaps and subtraction. A little bit of influence from noise and pirate radio, and then these aren't going to make as much of an appearance in this tune. And then this is the final one, Hollow Theory. That'd be such a cool name. Oblique Strategy, try faking it. And you can see this distribution is pretty even. So I'm interested in what I'll do for that one. Like, where should you get all your sounds from? So you can see this is going to be a really synthesist focused track. This is the image that came with it. But all that's left to do now is write a tune based on some of these ideas. Let's go. Check out mattchapmanaudio.com for mixing and mastering, one-to-one music production blogs, and exclusive content in the store. That's mattchapmanaudio.com. First thing is to get G Dorian 44167 in arrangement view. We've got the image for the tune. To start with pads, they're going to come from samples. Let's go. So that's the pad made out of samples. It's a nice starting point at least. So this is one thing I like to do with bass sometimes, have like a clean sub. just from one of the serums. But then this second serum, it does bass, but take the fundamental out of each one of the oscillators so that you can have that low pulsing kind of thing, but it doesn't interfere with the sub at all because there's no fundamental down there. And the two together can sound pretty sweet once you layer them up and stuff, you know. So it's quite a cool one that I like to do. That's one little thing with the filter. If you've got a big reverby sound, you can't let it just tail over all these other basses. You need to like filter it out really, really quick so that you don't get this muddy build up. So I've got my pads, they're from samples. I've got a bass from Subtractive Synthesis. I did a lead from FM8. So now I've got to make my drums from one shots and synthesis. So that should be quite cool. And then synthesized percussion and some extra Foley to finish off the sound, and we'll see what we can make. But it's exciting so far. Alright, so this is the tune I ended up writing from the prompt. I think I like this name Harbour Static, I might call it just that. So that was randomly generated. This plugin, I've got to delete it from the list because it's a gain compensation plugin, so I couldn't really use it. And that was pretty fun. It's a pretty cool EQ actually, the graphic, and it's got a match EQ thing. I can see myself using it a bit more in the future, but I also don't really need a graphic. But it was cool to try something new and spark ideas, so that was good. I used G Dorian, don't really, like in the little melody and some of the bass lines, I used Dorian, so that was good. Pads came from samples, that was interesting because I don't really use a lot of samples in my production, so it was really cool to just drag and drop samples in and morph them up and make them my own. And the little kind of thing came from sample as well. Bass and leads I did FM synthesis. One thing was sampled from the pads. One shots and synthesis, yeah, I pretty much made everything from one shots apart from the kick, had a synth layer to make it kind of punch. And I had a one shot sample, didn't really do any percussion for this tune, and I just had some Foley from rain sounds to link it to the picture a bit more. And I tried to go as deep as I could with the tune, like a nice kind of deep rolling tune, a little bit minimal and feeling compact. So I thought that was good. I'm not sure how much I made it like water, but I got a bit of rain samples in there. And then this is kind of the image that I wanted for the tune. This is the idea that I made from this prompt. All right, so that was my video on using some code to inspire writing tunes. If that helps you in any way, I'm really happy. Maybe I could post the prompts on my website or something, that if you wanted to try the prompt as well for your tunes, I could pop it up there so you could try it out as well. And if you had tried it out, send me like what you made from the same idea. I'd love that. If you want me to do more prompts from that generator and like send them to you or put them online somewhere, let me know. I don't know if people are interested or not, but I thought it was pretty cool. And if you've got any advice for me about how I could improve it or changes I could make, that'd be great. Drop me a comment. All right, that's it for today. And until next time, nice one.